So it's been quite a long time, but I'm back to do some UFC predictions, in fact, and I believe this is UFN 51, in fact. You know, I've had a brief look at the card, and not terribly interested in it, to be honest, so I don't expect this to be, full and in-depth at all, really. Their main event is Antonio Silva versus Andrei Arlovski. No idea where Arlovski has been recently. I still hope, for old time's sake, that he wins that one. Having said that, Silva is, at least statistically, better on the feet, believe it or not. But I'm going to go for Andrei Arlovski anyway. Gleason Tibau is fighting Point Holman. 15-2 for Holman. 38-10 for Gleason, who is back towards the top of the card. I don't really know why. I think I'm going to go... Well, according to the statistics, Holman actually sort of basically outmatches him on anything except for decision. But I'm still going to go for Tibau there, and that could be a boob, but there we are. Efrain Escudero is back. He's fighting Leonardo Santos. And you know, I fancy Efrain Escudero's chances here, so I'm going to go for him on that one. Santiago Ponzinibbio and Wendell Oliveira, no idea. 19-2 versus 24-7. Wendell has got statistics but no picture. Santiago, no statistics and picture, so that doesn't help me either, does it? I'll take a risk and go for Santiago on that, but I could be wrong there again, you see. Larry Alcantara is fighting Russell Doan, and on the face of it, this looks like a squash match. Don't think it is, but it looks that way from records. 30-5 for Alcantara, 14-3 for Russell. I'm going to go for Alcantara on that, but I don't know how. The statistics aren't clear on that anyway. Jessica Andrade versus Larissa Pacheco, who hasn't got a picture. I'm going to go for Jessica on that, who has got a picture, actually. What else? We're on the undercard now. Godofredo Pepe and Dashan Johnson. I'm going to go with Godofredo Pepe on that one, probably by submission as well. It is a striker versus groundsman, that one, at least statistically. You know, both have pretty impressive records, 11-3, 9-1. Who's next? Igor Arajo and George Sullivan. 25-6, 15-3. The likelihood is this one is going to end up in decision, I think. Although they are, statistically speaking, striker versus groundsman once again. You see, these cards are full of people that I just don't know well enough to take educated guesses, and don't think are well known enough for me to research, you know, take forever in researching them. But there we are. Who's next? Francisco Trinaldo and Leandro Silva. I'm going to go for Francisco Trinaldo there on that one. Paulo Tiago, who is right at the very bottom of the card, is fighting Sean Spencer. This one I thought could have been done with being a bit higher up, but there we are. Well, Paulo Tiago looks like he could get the submission here. Sean Spencer statistically is decision king, So it's going to depend, I think, on whether Paulo Thiago can manage to get the submission. If he does, I think he'll win. If not, Sean Spencer might end up getting the decision. But I'm going to go for Paulo Thiago there anyway. Another one, which is right at the very bottom of the card, which I think should be much higher, is Rani Yahya versus Johnny Bedford. 19 and 12 for Johnny Bedford, 19 and 8 for Rani. Rani, very, very, very well known. I think he might not have had such a good run of it recently, but I know he did. At one time, he was sort of spectacular. He was up there, really. This is looking like it could be striker versus groundsman. Johnny Bedford, statistically speaking, is sort of almost equal on both of those. But Rani Yahya is very, very strong towards the submission. So we could end up seeing a submission fest here. I don't know who will win this one. I think this one could end up being the best bout on the card. It's a bit sad that it's at the bottom there, I think. You know, Rani Yahya's luck is not so good, but I do know that he's had a very good run of it in the past. Johnny Bedford, can't remember much about him, but the name does ring a bell. He's certainly been, you know, around. I've certainly done prediction videos with him in before. So I err towards Rani Yahya, but I wouldn't be sorry if Johnny Bedford won. And to be honest, I hope that ends up being fight of the card, just because I don't think that they deserve to be at the bottom of the card. Sorry. I now want to run through the Fighter of the Card awards for those events that I have not predicted. And you will note that once again I've updated the predictions at the end of the video. We've got the Ultimate Fighter 19 finale, which was Edgar versus Penn. And, you know, although I don't think it was much of a surprise, for want of a better person on the card, really, I'm going to give that one to Frankie Edgar. The next one was, you know, I've missed so many now that I need to have it in front of me what happened to remind me. The next one was Cerrone versus Miller, and who was I going to give that one to? Do you know, I think I was going to give that one to Donald Cerrone. I think I was going to do that one as the main event as well. I can't remember who I first was going to give that to. It was either Donald Cerrone or Rick Story, but I'm going to go for Donald Cerrone there, just to be on the safe side. If in doubt, you see, I usually go for the winner of the main event, because obviously they, you know, by default, I suppose, if you have to pick somebody, then that is the one to do it. That's the one to do. The next one, I was going to give it to Gunnar Nelson because I didn't think that he would be able to do what he did versus Zach Cummings there. I'm afraid I was all for Zach Cummings and not realising that, so I was quite impressed that he had that ability, which is why I'm going to give him that one. The next one, obviously, I'm giving the next one to Robbie Lawler, who I really think should be able to contest again for the title. Although lots and lots of people doubted him and thought that Matt Brown would be able to win that one. No. This was another one. Oh yes, Ross Pearson was the one I was going to give the Fighter of the Card award to here. He finished Gray Maynard, who is a person that I don't like, who has a overinflated record, who gets chance after chance after chance. Still at the top of the card, he is. Still at the top of the card. And, you know, I just thought, well, you know, yes. Thank you, Ross Pearson, for that, so I will give you Fighter of the Card for that. My next one, I can't remember who I was going to give it to here. I don't think I even looked at this one. Brief look, I'll probably give it to Tyrone Woodley, I think. There. Not going to give it to Michael Bisping, don't like him at all. And I don't know anybody else on that card at all, I don't think. A Roland Delorme, maybe, but he lost, so there we are. Who's next? This one was easy. This is Rafael dos Anjos for his dispatching of Benson Henderson. Another person who I don't particularly like, but also because I was quite impressed by that one. You know, Benson Henderson had made his big comeback, and that really ruined that, to be totally honest. Where are we? Oh yes, this was going to be Dillashaw again. TJ Dillashaw for whatever one that was, UFC 177. And yesterday's event is absolutely no joke, is Ronaldo Souza. I have to say that so far this year's Fighter of the Year award is the only two people who are anywhere near contention are TJ Dillashaw and Ronaldo Souza. You know, and if Ronaldo Souza can somehow manage to get a title shot and win it between now and Christmas, that is about the only chance that he has of, you know, being able to beat TJ Dillashaw. It's that, or somebody else has to do something absolutely momentous, you know, 2 or 3 times between now and December, because those two guys this year are just miles ahead of anybody. Usually it's not been, I don't think, as obvious as this for a very, very long time.